Hi guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another Summoners War video. Today is a RTA video and you can see that my points have jumped 50 points since the last video, which was the video where I showed you guys how I reached C3. And my victory rate has jumped quite a bit since that video, 70%. And that's because my Nigong and the buffed Wusa, both buffed, have been doing really well with my box. So today I'm gonna be talking to some of the battles that I recorded and see how it went. I'm gonna talk about where I was lucky with and where I came in clutch. I have to really tell you guys that my Nigong and the Wusa worked pretty well. More of the Nigong because I brought out the Nigong a lot more compared to the Wusa. Hey guys, before we start the video, if you guys want to support me or my channel, please go to the descriptions below and there will be a link to my Patreon. If you join my Patreon, there are small little perks that I try to provide for every Patreon there is, such as helping them with their account and also picking out one winners out of my Patreon to make a video on their account improvement. And this could be RTA, Siege Defense, Guild Defense, Arena Rush, Arena Offense Defense, so on and so forth. Don't worry if you do not win, because I still try to answer every message that I get, so if there's anything that is stopping you from progressing into the game, please send me a message and I'll try my best to help you in that account. That is it, let's continue on with the video. Before we go in, I am going to show you guys the runes of the Nigong and Wusa. So if you go right into the monster box, my Wusa is on a Swift build. Is Swift broken? Swift Endure, but I do think that I should change him to Violent because Violent seems more impactful in the game, and if I'm gonna go slow, I think going full out slow is fine. But for now, this is the Wusa build because I gave all the better Violent runes to other units because I like to rune my entire box up before I start playing. So it's gonna take some time before I switch the Wusa up, but he is fully scaled up. Other than skill 1 maybe? Yeah, skill 1, other than skill 1, but skill 2 and 3 is all skilled up, and just a random Swift build, not even that fast, but it does the job. So that's Wusa, and my Nigong is similar to my Arena Nigong on 100 resistance, but a little faster, I think 20 speed faster, 30 speed faster compared to my Arena Nigong, Arena Defense Nigong. He has still 52k HP, good amount of defense. I really want more, but my first priority was speed, resistance, and the HP because his skill 2, does damage based off of his HP, his max HP. And everybody knows that this guy is fully skilled up because he is an LDNAV 5 and he's on Violent Nemesis, which is also similar to my Arena Defense Nigong. And I just have to, grind this up if I get a good grind. Well, to be honest, I should really just, switch this rune to something better because this is a mediocre rune. But anyways, these are the two units that's going to be showcased in today's video. Hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get right into the battles. So this was my first match, and it was against a Korean player, as you guys can see. I was first pick, I went with Sierra, and I have to let you guys know that I am first picking Sierra a lot more these days because it looks like she's more viable, especially for a box like mine where I'm not contesting first turn. A lot of these days people are coming in with a tanky team like you see right here, and I just feel like that you could, if they don't draft well enough, they don't really have a one-shot comp killing out the Sierra first turn, which allows the Sierra to wreak havoc if she lands the bomb. And I ruined my Sierra really well, probably one of my best rune sets, so I really like her, and that's why I'm first picking her more these days. But anyways, you can see that I first picked Sierra and then he retaliated with Molong Cardinal. I retaliated with the Wusa because, like I said, Wusa is a lot better these days with the skill 2 buff. It's a straight up damage, right, based off of HP, which is really awesome. And then I went with the Diana to kind of counter the Molong. It's not really a counter, but Diana is always good in my opinion, just by the fact that it forces them to hit the Diana rather than any other units that you have due to her passive. And then he retaliated with the Light Vampire, which I know they did get a buff, but I don't think really great. I know that he stuns a whole lot if he gets the chance, but it's really RNG, so I don't think that he's that great. So I let that through, and I retaliated with a Leo Verd, which is crucial for a second turn team, a slow team. And I have to let you guys know that my team is much slower than before. Well, actually not much slower, but I know I have slow units, so I try to draft the Verd more. I made him a lot tankier. He's a little slower, but because he's on triple revenge, if he does get a good counter, it allows my team to move. And I think that's really important, which I did not really get during the last season and the previous seasons. So I tried to do that more this season. He finally retaliated with a Rika. His final pick was Rika, and from that I knew that he was gonna ban my Wusa if he really wanted Rika to do work, and that meant that I had to ban the Rika, and that's what I did. So let's see what happened during this game. So not really a Wusa showcase like I said, but it was a force ban for him. You can see that I'm just straightly going for that light vampire, because if you get him low enough and if you bring him to death, he takes the HP from his companions, his other units, right? And by doing that, it kind of kills the damage from the Mo Long, which allows my Diana to survive, but he got a lucky proc which killed my Diana. But it does not end here, because my Sierra still gets to go. He has no will. My Sierra gets to do what he wants to do. And you could see that my Despair Leo is doing work, right? Yeah, my Leo's on Despair. I followed Curry's build and I actually like it. It actually could counter Cleaves as well, because Lucians or Julies are usually not on will. Actually, the Julies are usually on will, and some Lucians are not. And even if the attack bar booster doesn't have will, if he gets a lucky stun, then I win. But that was it. Yeah, you can see that I kept going for the light vampire, and as he kept dying, or as soon as he got low enough, he started sucking up HP from all the other units, which allowed my Sierra to do enough damage to kill them off. And it was easy as that. And you saw how I was getting some lucky revenges from the Verd, which allowed me to take more turns. So that was a pretty easy win on my side, and let's move on to the next one. So this was the next battle, and you can see I'm already going against a player that's very close to G1, and that's probably because my win rate is high, or it's just because that he's also C3, right? 1500, 1600, they're all C3, and I think right now, because the points are not pushing and there aren't enough players in the pool in RTA, 1700 is still G1. I don't know at the time that this video is going to go up, but at least at the time that I was recording this, 1700 was still G1. So he went with a very tanky comp, and you could again see that I went with a Sierra first pick and a cocky Nigong. Cocky was kind of like a counter to the Molly, because Molly has a passive where she doesn't get crit, and same with her allies, that's the passive, right? So Cocky kind of counters that, and Nigong skill 2 also kind of counters that, because his skill 2 is just flat damage based off of his HP. So that's why I picked those two. He picked up his Fang and his Leona, and then I finished it off with a Diana and Wusa, whereas he finished it off with a Leo. In my mind here, it felt like if I let the two healers go through, it was gonna bring too much healing where it's really hard for me to kill somebody. So I banned out the Molly here, and I believe that he banned out the Wusa. I guess he wanted to have, he didn't want me to have any immunity, so he could land the strip stun, the defense breaks, so on and so forth. I think that's how it went. So let's go check it out. Yep, that's what he did. I went with the HP lead because I knew he had a Leo, and let's see what happens. So we resisted that. I put up a shield, I got a proc, and here I noticed that I could just kill off the Leo if I get to take a turn, and I did, and you can see that my Nigong finishes him off. And that's really cool with the Nigong now, is that he just doesn't need crit rate or crit damage, he just needs HP, and he could bring out a nuke. You could start the game off by killing off one of their units, and I think that's pretty awesome. After that, I started going for this Lulu because I didn't want any more healing coming in for his team, and he didn't proc, thank god. If he procced, it could have prolonged the game or even changed the game, but thankfully he did not proc, which allowed my Diana to get the chance to bring him low enough to kill him. So you can see right here, I don't think my Diana ever went crazy, but it was enough for me to kill off his units. And then I start going for the Wind Panda. I didn't want to go for the Leona because Leona probably on 100 res, also had the counter up. I didn't want to get into that state where he could stun me, so I just went for the Wind Panda. He will take some turns, but he wasn't as scary as the Leona. As you see right now, she's getting all these stuns on me, and I'm getting some procs, which is not really great, but thankfully with 100 res, the Wing Panda wasn't able to get any defense breaks. And now it's only the Leona and the 3 of my units, and this is the power of 100 res Leona. It took me forever to kill this unit. I thought I was gonna actually lose, but thankfully my Nigong's alive. He's on 100 res. He has flat damage, and he also has a revive. So I just have to wait for my Kaki to either defense break or my Nigong bring out the Sierra so that we can land bombs, and that's what I did. I think he still kills off the Sierra here one more time. This game goes long because of this Leona not getting defense broken. I don't know, give more accuracy to Kaki, but thankfully in the end I think we do land a defense break. My Sierra does survive. She does get a chance to land the bomb, which ends the game. So I get stunned here, but that's fine. The Leona's not fast, she's not taking a turn. Thankfully, I am fast enough for me to take a turn. So the Diana eventually takes a turn, and you can see that I'm starting to land bombs, even with the 100 res. Come on. Res is a joke, right? Accuracy is a joke. I don't know, they're both jokes, but it's just RNG. Gets the stun, my Sierra still survives, the heal comes in, and here comes the defense break right here, and the game's over. He knew that he was done for. So that was the second game. So I think this definitely showed the power of Nigong. I know some people still look down on it and say that he's pretty mediocre, but if you just rune him well and know where to bring him out, I think he's great. I mean, the fact that he's a skill 3 and then he gets damage reduction on his entire team but himself is a big plus. As you saw right there, that Sierra should have died. That Sierra should have died, but it survived with a little glimpse of HP, and I think that helped, right? I'm not gonna say that changed the game, but that definitely helped, because then the Leona still needs to waste a turn on the Sierra, and the Leona was not fast. So here I was not first picked, so the opponent took the Sierra. So I took my Nigong and Verd, and again, I take Verd a lot more these days. I started to take him a lot more these days because I am slow, and if I want to take turns, I need a good counter, or I need attack bar boost. And I saw this from the Curry SW videos. He's a YouTuber who specializes on second turn teams in RTA. I think he plays in Japan server, and I saw that he has a very slow team, and the way he gets turns is by bringing out the Verd. If the Verd gets a counter, then his team gets to move, which changes the game, because usually the fast teams have lower, rune efficiency because they are focused so much on speed, while as the tankier teams have a lot of rune efficiency, where if they take a turn, they will, stun, defense break, do a lot of damage, so on and so forth. So for a second turn team, it's really important that you're able to take a turn, and you can see that I have drafted a lot of that, where Antares could proc to take a turn, the Diana could take a turn by gaining a tap bar when your teammates are getting hit, and Juno is usually fast, so she'll take a turn. So the other team brought out a Tian Lane, Wusa, again very popular, and then the Ayunu, and finally the Oki. And I believe I banned out the Wusa because I didn't want. It's probably the Tian Lane. I think I banned out the Tian Lane and left the Wusa in. Yeah, I banned the Tian Lane because if you see my team, there's a lot of attack bar boost, which is countered by the Tian Lane. So I banned the Tian Lane, and I believe he banned my Juno. He banned my Juno. Let's see how it goes. So another Nigong showcase. He goes first, Rain of Stones, and I believe I get stunned. Yeah, everybody gets stunned. He gets a proc. He fails to reset my Diana. My Diana gets a proc. He goes for my Nigong. I think he should have went for my Verd. But he goes for my Nigong. You can see that he's trying to kill my Antares. There you go. Didn't get the Oblivion, so that's good. And then he just keeps hitting my Diana because he doesn't want me to take turns. But now my Diana gets to move. He has no Antares. Antares on my side, so I could freely change. And no Tian Lane. That's really important. If his Tian Lane was up, then I wouldn't get 100% attack bar. And you can see I'm already killing off his Sierra. If my Nigong takes a turn and didn't get stunned, I could have killed him, the Sierra, but we got stunned, so that sucks. But thankfully we proc right here, which allows us to almost kill off both of these units. But I kind of greeded here to kill off the Oki too. And you can see that here I kill off the Oki, and then here I'll kill off the Sierra. I went for the Ionu last because I know the Ionu comes back, you know, could do a lot of damage and takes a turn right away as well, and I didn't want any of that. Still continues to go for my Antares because my Antares could take turns in between, and I guess he didn't want that. He didn't want turns being stolen. But even without that, my Antares is actually kind of fast now, so he takes enough turns. I think he's plus 90, 99 speed now. But you can see, my Diana just keep going, never stopping. And with my Nigong up, I could, at any time, once skill 3 is back up, I could bring everybody back. My Verd kills the Ionu, he tries to kill the Verd, doesn't work. And it's over, because I knew at this point that Ionu is really squishy. We kill him off right here. Another easy win. Actually, I don't know if it was an easy win, but I think it was pretty well drafted on my side. So this was the next battle against someone pretty close to G1, and you can see that he brought out a Nana first pick. And I really don't like the Nana because I think Nana is pretty damn OP. So in my head, I was already like, okay, I'm gonna ban the Nana and I'm gonna draft on that. So you could again see that my first pick is Sierra Nigong, and I just started picking out Nigong now because Nigong was so good in the past games. At this point, I won 4 out of 5 games or 3 out of 4 games. I only lost 1, so I was like, why change my strategy when it's working so well? So you can see I picked the Sierra Nigong, he then picked out the Cardinal and the Kraka. Another reviver, right? But less impactful than the Nana because she doesn't gain, you know, soul stones where she could revive anybody that dies. She actually has to take a turn to do the revive. So I was like, okay, that's okay. And then I picked up the Wusa with the Verd again because I want to take more turns. My Nigong is slow, so I definitely wanted the Verd to provide the attack bar. And then he went with the Oki and Praha, and look at that, there's a Cardinal Oki. Come on, it's the Rigel showcase right here, right? Rigel has to do it. So I brought out the Rigel. And I believe he brands out the Rigel because it really counters his team. The fact that his 2 main damage dealers are fire, and they bring, you know, slow stuns, and the Rigel doesn't get affected by that and instead gains more attack bar. He had to ban the Rigel, so he banned the Rigel and I actually banned the Nana, what I thought I was gonna ban. And let's see how it goes. My first thought is to kill off the Kraka as fast as possible because Kraka's revive is kind of annoying because she brings the unit back and also resets the cooldown, so I didn't want any of that. I should have actually blew up the bomb right here because with that proc from the Nigong, I would have been able to kill off that Kraka right away. Thankfully, we get a counter, so I kill off the Kraka, and I think at this point I already won. Although he did get the reset. Actually, he didn't get the reset on the Wusa, but I have the Verd, which allows me to gain attack bar. Although slow debuff is kind of strong. Oh, he did reset my Wusa, but that's fine. I have Heavenly Protection where I kind of bring out the strip right here, but my Wusa didn't get stripped, and now I have a Darien in the field where I'm taking less damage. So my Wusa survives for a very long time. I think he actually doesn't die because my Nigong has skill 2 right now. He gets the heal. Yeah. And you can see I kill off the Praha now, and it's over. It's over. He can't do anything really. He could do that all he wants, but he doesn't stun the Wusa, and my Wusa has skill 3 up, and you can see that I use that right now, and the game's over. I mean, he's trying anything he can, but really he can't win anymore. Getting the procs, but yeah, see that how he survived? That's because of the Nigong. If the Nigong wasn't there, my Sierra would have died. But the Nigong was there, used skill 3 is on cooldown, so he becomes a Darien and allows my unit to survive. Okay, so this was the next one, and this was an interesting battle. You can see I again picked Sierra first pick, and he first picked a Diana Lulu. I knew Antares was going to be my pick because I like Antares. I know that some people hate him and think that players that play him is a jerk, but come on, he's part of the game. I could play him if I want. And then I picked the Nigong. He then goes with the Friend and the Narsha, which is really strong after the buff, but I bring out the Leo to counter her and the Juno. So I actually thought that he was gonna ban the Leo. But I guess he looked right through me because I was gonna ban the Narsha. So I banned the Narsha and he bans the Antares instead, which allows his Diana to freely move. He actually kind of looked right past through me here. If I banned out the Diana or even the other, what's that, Helena instead, I think the game would have been much easier because he didn't ban the Leo. His Narsha wouldn't have done much because it does damage based off of speed, and by the fact that Leo is there is no speed in the match. But that wasn't the case, and he looked right through me, banned my Antares, and I banned his Narsha. So here my Despair Leo does some work. I just use it because I know that by doing this, even if he does remove heal, he has no will. And I thought I had this in the bag, but I kind of did this. Maybe I should just kill off the Helena, but I let the Helena go wreak havoc. Yeah, you can see that she's gonna start moving. I tried to one-shot her right here. That didn't happen. If my Nigong had a little more HP, I could have done something. However, sadly, my Nigong was a little short. But here, the Diana does Diana things and kills off my Sierra. And by the fact that I don't have Antares, she gets to do whatever she wants. Helena gets to move because Helena again gains attack bar by critting. So she's critting all she wants. But I get the stun and I thought I won, but like no, it was a little short. So that's the downside of a Despair Leo. I couldn't give him too much HP. Sorry, too much attack. Because my Leo is actually almost on 100 res. Kind of funny to say that because he's just defense broken right now. But it is what it is. I am happy with how Leo is doing. But you can see that I am still hanging on. I'm still hanging on just because my Nigong is on the field, is using skill 3, and he's a Darien now. If I stunned the Diana right there, I would have won, but the Diana resisted the stun, so that kind of sucks. But I killed the Diana here, and I'm slowly winning the match, slowly. And it looks like that Fran was on 100 res or something because she resisted everything. So you can see that I stopped targeting her and I started targeting the Helena or even just the Lulu. But in the end, I just target the Helena because I noticed that if I kill her, it's over. And she was actually a lot more squishier than I thought because my Leo starts to do a lot of damage. So kill my Sierra again. You can see that we are withstanding a lot of damage just because the Nigong is there with skill 3's passive. More healing. I should just used it on the Helena. I don't know why I did it on the Fran. Really, I should just keep going for the Helena. You see I tapped the Lulu to see how squishy he is, but he's not squishy. And finally, I think Leo gets to move, and we do get to tap the Helena. My Leo is almost on 100 crit rate, guys, okay? So, here goes Heavenly Protection again. We didn't get a crit there, but it's alright. It's fire and Leo's wind, so it makes sense that we miss a crit. But I know that we could land a lucky crit soon. So you can see that the Helena is a little squishy right now. Right here, boom, look at that. Skill 1 and then half her HP. So she was actually on Violent, surprisingly, because this was her first Violent proc, so I guess it was lucky for me there. But I was able to gain an additional turn right here, which allowed me to win the game. Yeah, so again, it was a game where the Nigong provided all this sustain and kind of damage reduction that allowed my team to survive for so long, and at the end, it was a lucky proc from Nigong that actually killed the Helena. I know that as time goes on the RTA match, HP goes lower and attack goes higher, but thankfully, it's also their HP, so the skill 2 did enough damage on the Helena in human form, and the final proc killed him off. And at that point, he knew that he lost because I still have Nigong, which could bring everybody back into the game. So now let's watch the final match. So this was my final match, and it was again against a player that's almost at G1. And you can see that I first picked Sierra Nigong, like why change it, it's working. And he picked Mulong first pick with Carno, Rusa, Diana, and Molly, while I kind of countered the Carno and Diana with the Rigel, because Diana has the crit and Rigel has kind of like an anti-crit passive. And also with Lulu to kind of counter what the control that Cardinal's bringing in, and finally the Verd to gain more attack bar. Here, if you look at his team, if you kill off the Molong, he has no one-shot potential, and just by that, it allows my team to do what they could do. So I took that bet and I banned the Molong, and you can see then they don't have that much damage, and he banned out the Lulu because he wanted to bring in all the control from that Cardinal. He does have Will, which is the downside, but I'm hoping that they're mostly on Violent, and Diana's also on Diana switches forms, you know, and she loses her shield and Will pretty quickly, and I was just betting on that. You can see I just keep hitting the Diana so that she doesn't gain extra turns. I try to gain more attack bar. Here she changes. So just by doing this, her Will is now gone. His Will is now gone. He killed off the Sierra. We get a lucky defense break, and I'm hoping that we could kill off the Diana pretty soon. We got a lucky sleep, but I wake her up because I want to do a lot of damage. But the Molly comes in, and her anti-crit is pretty strong. But that's all good. That's all good. He tries to go for my Nigong here because that's all he could go for. Anti-crit from the Rigel and also fire unit from the Verd. He has to go for my Nigong, but my Nigong got a lucky proc which allowed me to use skill 2, and now his only damage dealer is the Cardinal, which is really good for me because now I could bring back the Sierra and he doesn't have that much damage to kill it off unless he pairs it up with a mountain, you know, the mountain power from Musa. Rigel gains a turn. Rigel's on Violent, so if I get a lucky defense break on the Rigel, the game will be much easier. But my Sierra, if you just saw right there, missed a bomb, which is pretty crucial. But look how it's so hard for them to kill my Sierra. So he has to wait for his mountain power from Musa right there to kill off my Sierra, which he did. But my Rigel's still alive. My Wusa's still alive to bring in all damage, all the attack bar, and my Nigong's still alive to bring back the Sierra, to bring all the heals, to bring some flat damage that we need. So the procs, you know, allow the Cardinal to leave, to not have Will, and now it's our turn. Look at that. Our lucky proc right there, Rigel's doing work. Boom, we're getting close. He's trying to control it. He got the stun, lucky him, but my Rigel gets to move now. He gave me, you know, free attack bar. So now the game's over, really. I mean, I think he tries to do stuff with his mountain power, with his Rusa doing damage, but I could do the same thing. And we have a freeze on skill 2. We have more, you know, attack bar. We move more than they do. I bring back units. It's over. Yeah, so like that, it was an easy 5-game win. I think those were 5 games out of 6, and it was pretty awesome. I didn't think that Nigong will be this useful, but that was proven incorrect, and Nigong is actually awesome. So yeah guys, with that last game, I am currently standing at 1554. I probably will play a little more, you know, here and there and see how far I could go up, and let's see if this team starts losing. But I'm definitely picking and banning better as time goes on, as I play more, and just by the fact that Nigong brings a lot into the table is allowing me to get more wins. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You guys don't need the Art Masters to come into C2, C3. And to be honest, the runes on all of these units aren't the best. I'll show you some here. Like, you guys already saw the Nigong. Here's my Sierra on Violent Will. Pretty tanky, 100 crit rate, a little low accuracy, but I'm bringing like 18% more with an artifact right here, 19%. So it's 70% actually, so that's pretty good. Verd, so this is my triple revenge Verd. I went with the tankiest I could go with the current revenge set I have, and this is the best I could do for now, so that's that. And finally the Rigel, which is not on a crit damage build, is on a crit rate build. Actually, not even a crit rate build, it's HP, attack, HP. And as you saw, he's really good. I like him. He's on Violent Revenge. But again guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. And I don't know, if there's anything else you guys would like to see, please put it in the comment below. If you guys are interested in any of the other runes, please let me know. But more comments, more likes mean that this video is exposed to more viewers out there, and that really helps me. Anybody's interested in account reviews, then please join my Discord, send me a private DM and ask for an account review. They're free. I'm happy to do those. We just have to schedule a time. And finally, if you guys feel like, you know, helping me out personally with the channel or myself, then please go to the description below and go to my Patreon, because you can support me there. But yeah guys, that was it, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.